Fans, welcome to Sports Chat. A lot to talk about this week. Campbell County wise, UT wise, pro sports wise. On the Campbell County front, another dominating week of track.
It's getting to be week after week, meet after meet. Campbell County is finishing finishing the top two. Great individual performances, and talked to Coach Sutphin. He was talking about how they have a lot of people getting really close to qualifying scores for the sectional meet,
which are at Hardin Valley this year.
And things are looking up there for the track.
So his relay squads were looking good. Gracie Faulkner's turned in some dominating performances. Bryce and Dakota Dawson have both had some great performances. Austin Raines and Ralston Lent are throwing.
The beat keeps rolling on. Soccer team, they had a loss earlier this week. I think they are 5-2-1 on the season now. They're looking to bounce back. Have a few more games left in the season,
including a home game.
They have a home game Friday. I'm not sure when you'll see this exactly. Maybe past that home game, but Daniel Lasley stepped in for Shane Wolfenbarger and he's kept the ball rolling. Got some good athletes on the team.
And Daniel knows these kids. He coached them on the middle school level. So he's able to come in and see, I've known these kids for a while. I know what they're capable of. And Daniel's a darn good coach. I've watched him coach over the years basketball, football, now soccer.
Dynamic young sophomore, Matthew Laxton, leading goal scorer, I think, as of a couple of games ago or last game. Daniel told me that Matthew had 14 goals on the season so far. He's the leading goal scorer for the Cougars. So I said he's only a sophomore, so the future's pretty bright for the Cougars, and so they're winning at a high level right now.
Baseball and softball are battling rain. Baseball actually had a game that we were going to go to later today, but it got rained out.
We're in the midst of a week-long deluge, and
it's apparently monsoon season in Campbell County.
I expect fully that the girls also. They were supposed to play every day this week. They've probably lost a game or two already, and that's, I believe.
And when you say lost a game, mean won't be played.
Yeah, I think as of starting today, Coach Mongar told us there are no more rescheduled dates available. So if the game is canceled, it's just not happening from here on out.
And baseball's facing a very similar situation. We did get to watch Campbell County Middle School baseball come from behind to beat Cleveland County.
Yeah, rallied and got a win. It was a high-scoring game,
10-9.
Which, if it's baseball, as a pitching guy, you don't really want to be high-scoring, but as a fan, you like those 10-run games. As we say, spring's rolling on.
Spring practice is fast approaching.
Yeah, we've got spring practice here in just a few weeks. For one of the later spring practices, a lot of programs had their spring practice in February, which was their mistake because it got snowed out in a lot of cases, and they had a lot of interruptions. But the process wait till late in the spring to do theirs, and which that's a good thing, and it gives you something to look forward to. Pretty much right around the time Campbell County has spring practice, we open his pool and it's going, and it's summertime.
Good times from there. We get the exciting Rodney returns to Campbell County leading PAL for spring practice this year.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. Not a lot of success for Matt Price so far in stopping Rodney's offense while he was at Clinton. I mean, Backerson's a really good quarterback. I'm not sure who he's going to have at PAL, but he'll have someone trained up and have him good.
There's a lot of similarities between Rodney Ellison and the Price twins and how they run a program. He'll have them out.
Yeah, I mean, it's the good thing about it. I love Rodney, but he's not on the schedule this year, and that's one less headache for the defensive coaches at Campbell County have to deal with.
When you go on the UT front, of course, spring practice is going on there, but that's not big UT news today.
Yeah, big commitment. 4-star quarterback. He's one of the top 5 quarterbacks in the country, number 1 quarterback east of the Mississippi River. Battled out with Ohio State and Urban Meyer and won the recruiting battle for him. He is a pro threat kind of quarterback, 6'4", 200 pounds. His name is Jarrett Guarantano, is how I'm going to say it. I assume that's close. And really, really big 2016 recruit. We're stacking up quarterbacks. I mean,
we're stacking up talent.
There's going to be some quarterback competition in the future. They're not all going to make it. I mean, we saw this many times over the years.
Manning and that guy that wasn't Manning.
Brandon Stewart transfers out. I mean, Um, Eric Ainge wins the quarterback job. Brent Schaefer transfers out. It just happens at the top level programs. I mean, it's hard to keep multiple quarterbacks satisfied, but that's a good problem to have when you have multiple extremely talented guys. And it's a good problem to have that someone is actually so good that they're keeping other guys from being able to compete, or not keeping them from being able to start, and they're transferring out. But hey, Butch Jones is stacking up the talent.
And he took care of his assistant coaches this week too.
Yeah, got them all under wraps. So
got some raises.
Yeah, right. Another story I saw this week, which baffles me. It's baffled me for years. I've known it for years. It was a listing of the 25 richest college basketball programs. Take a guess who the number one in the SEC.
Guess Kentucky. It's Tennessee, isn't it?
University of Tennessee is the biggest profit-making basketball program in the SEC. The reason that is Kentucky puts a lot of money back into their basketball program. Tennessee basketball made $18 million. Kentucky's made $23 million. Kentucky spent 18 of that $23 million on theirs for a $5 million profit. Tennessee spent $6 million of their $18 million for a $12 million profit. So Tennessee is the more profitable program that piles up money faster. But of course, Jimmy Cheek gets his little greedy little fingers into that, and as I said before,
he probably donates to the University of Florida.
That's why there's always $1 million or $2 million, whatever, in Tennessee's emergency fund. Everybody's son claims the emergency fund is broke all the time, and you can't hire or fire anybody coaches because there's only $1 million in reserve. Tennessee's set up specifically to operate. It doesn't keep reserve. It keeps a few
it's a
$1
state
million
law about
just
publicly funded schools.
Just a couple of $1 million, all they're allowed to keep in reserve. The rest goes to academics. Alabama's got a $50 million war chest built up because Alabama doesn't follow that plan. They follow the plan of we're keeping money for our football program.
We're going to win.
We're going to buy Nick Saban a new house if he wants one. And that's how they do it. Tennessee doesn't do it that way. But Tennessee has money. And it just that article is just more proof of the pudding. Tennessee basketball is very profitable. It makes plenty of money.
Well, we have great facilities. Pratt Pavilion's amazing.
Just the stupidness of never wanting to pay for coaches, Lance's Conzo Martins and people like that. And with Rick Barnes, I guess it's a fortunate firing, and they're actually paying him quite a bit of money, $2.25 million.
And he brought his assistant. He was able to bring and pay his assistant.
We'll see where he lands. I'm still not 100% sold on Rick. To me, he's the guy that gets you to be a pretty good team, but never does really great things. I mean, he's basically a poor man's Calipari so far. He doesn't get the talent, as much talent as Calipari, but he gets pretty close. And he doesn't win quite as much in the postseason as Calipari does, but he gets pretty close. So we'll see if he can continue that here. He's like I say, he's a 60, but just the $12 million profit that UT's making. This is a downtime for UT basketball too, and still making that much money.
Yeah, I mean, under the Pearl era.
Under Pearl, yeah, they're making $17-18 million a year under Pearl. The football program profits about $30 million a year. But once again, they send at least $10 million over to the academic side after all other sports are paid for. But I say Tennessee's never been broke. The athletic program's never been broke. Whatever you hear about coaches' buyouts, all that is just fudging numbers and essentially lying through omission by not telling you that that's where the money. I mean, the loan a few years ago from the academic side wasn't a loan. It's just the academic side decided they would only take $5 million instead of $12 million out of the athletic budget that they usually take from it. But there's plenty of opportunity out there always been for UT to hire elite coaches, and Kentucky takes in $6 million more in revenue, $7 million more in revenue, with the same size arena, all that, because Kentucky spends a lot more money on their program. Their program's a lot better than Tennessee, which, I mean, of course, Kentucky's doing it illegally. They're going to get caught. I'm pretty happy right now. I mean, the Rupp's Rafters. Anybody go check out Rupp's Rafters. It's the greatest site on the internet. They're in a blind panic right now because all these they suspected their 7 recruits to leave and 7 more to come and fill them up. They're having trouble right now, and it looks like those elite prospects that were remaining, a bunch of them are going to other places. I mean, even Conzo Martin sort of helped us out a little bit in that regard, and he got Ivan Rabb to come and play for him, which not a big deal. I mean, Alderman was a good recruit. And Conzo got good recruits. He got Jarnell Stokes.
Conzo's a good recruit. He just couldn't coach.
He got some top 10, top 20 talent while he was here. But the guys from Oakland that committed to them. So he really just across the bay from Cal. So he pretty much got to stay in his hometown. But that's a guy Kentucky was looking to get. And so they didn't get him. Another big guy named Steven Zimmerman, a 7-footer, they thought would just fall into their laps immediately. Looks like he's probably going to go to UNLV now. So
I hope UNLV becomes a basketball power again. I love those teams.
I just find it hilarious that they're suddenly this one and done strategy. Now it's just all the ones that left and the twos that left, and basically he pretty much forced out the Harrison twins. And that's been why they reported that NBA scouts were like, they're not going to get drafted, not going to get drafted very high. He's like, no, they're first rounders, they got to go. So he pretty much pushed those guys out, but now it looks like he may not be getting some high caliber 5-star recruits to fill it in. And Kentucky fans are in a blind panic. Half of them are like, we're never going to win. We can't win. We don't know what's going on. The other half are still convinced he's a great coach. And they're going on with, Cal's a great coach. You're saying he has to have 10 5-stars to win. We've got 6 5-stars. Surely we can win with that. That's just a testament to his coaching. That cracks me up.
And, of course, on the other college, the other UT fronts, softball's doing really well this year. Golf is doing really well this year. So, it's always good to see UT do well.
Yeah, and it's the spring sport. It's not real enamored with most of them, but it's fun to go out and watch track meets and things like that, especially at the high school level and softball games and stuff like that, because it's fun to watch the local kids. You only get to watch them for a couple of years. So go out and check any local sporting event out.
And also, if you get a chance, the Ice Bears are about to win the President's Cup in their league. And we complain about nothing to do around here. Ice Bears hockey is a lot of fun.
If you can get tickets. They actually
if you can get tickets.
Otherwise, it's rainy as heck. There's nothing else to do. Come down here to Jason's video, rent some movies, go to Papa John's, grab some pizza.
Heck, stop by Total Tan and get you a tan.
You're your one-stop shopping mall for anything you need.
Yep, and Jason has some great classic video games this year. So fans, we're going to get out of here. We'll see you next week on Sports Chat. Same Pat time, same Pat channel.